Hi, my name is Sean Humphreys, founder of the training company Take Charge of Change and the Resiliency Lab. Thank you for taking a few minutes to view this presentation. The intent of the presentation is to give you a bit of an overview as to what our organization is about and our mandate. Well, more than at any time in history, a resiliency training is needed. Being resilient is really having the ability to bounce back from change or circumstances or events that have the potential to take you off course or your organization off course from its stated goals or purposes. Resiliency training anticipates that change will come, and at times it'll be dramatic. As a result, we need to train in advance so that we can handle that change, and not only handle it or just endure it, but to actually grow through it and to take advantage of the opportunities that change can present. Our world is experiencing change at a greater rate than was even experienced during the Industrial Revolution. And before our very eyes, our world seems to be redefining itself, and it seems that no area is going untouched, whether it's financial, capital markets, politics around the world, the environment, immigration patterns, technology, even families seem to be impacted at extraordinary levels these days. Some people emerge from times of change stronger. It's in their DNA to welcome change and to grow through it, and we can learn from those folks. However, for many people, change can be overwhelming and begins to negatively impact their work, family life, their personal happiness, fulfillment, and ultimately can be a drag to their productivity, their ability to focus, and lead to a general level of disengagement, which impacts our organizations. And so the role of Take Charge of Change is to provide training and mentorship to help people embrace change, to get through change, to grow through change so they can become more effective. And that's not just good for the individual, not just good for our organizations, it's also good for society in general. Well, I've alluded to in the previous slide that as society is going through changes in a number of different areas, it's having negative impacts. So what I'd like to do is just explore very quickly some of those change impacts that are directly impacting your key staff and your employees as they come into your organization. Well, the first one is we're seeing an unprecedented increase in the rates of depression in North America. And not only are we seeing higher rates of depression, it's being experienced at younger and younger ages. What's ironic about this is it's also happening at a time when our society has never experienced the level of affluence that it's currently experiencing today. In spite of the market correction in 2008, there's no doubt that there's been growing wealth in North America, and yet depression rates continue to increase over time, and that has an impact on the ability of your staff to be as productive as you'd like them to be at times. The other issue is staff disengagement is increasing, and so there's studies coming out that are showing that it's getting harder and harder for organizations to really get a strong level of commitment from their staff. So having them fully engaged in your organizational mission is becoming a more difficult exercise. Apathy, disengagement seems to be happening at a higher level just generally in the society, and this is seeping certainly into the workplace. So how can organizations achieve their stated purpose or mission or goals if their teams are not committed in a strong way to those goals? And we need to find a way of aligning people's own personal purposes and missions with the mission of the organization. So it's critical that we try to find bridges between those two areas in our training programs. Third, employee health spending continues to grow. Part of this is driven simply just by demographics. The largest part of the baby boom was born around 1960. Those folks are now 50 years of age, and so we're seeing a situation where people's health is beginning to deteriorate. But the other issue is that just generally people have been struggling with increasing levels of obesity rates. We're seeing diabetes on the rise and other chronic health problems, and those are being manifested in a way that is directly impacting organizations, whether it's increased health spending, days off work, or just generally a lack of productivity as people struggle to get through their day. So it's a very important area for organizations to take a look at. Fourth, employees are concerned about long-term financial security. Even before the correction in 2008, when people were polled about their major financial concerns, retirement income planning and long-term income security was one of the top concerns that was listed. And so people have questions like, when can I retire? How much capital do I need when I retire? What kind of rate of returns do I need to aspire to my long-term income goals? How do I make sure that I don't outlive my capital? Those are general concerns. To the extent that organizations can help their staff and key employees address those concerns, making sure they have a specific plan in place to deal with them, then it unleashes greater productivity because they're less concerned about their long-term financial security issues and more concerned about the here and now and how we can accomplish some of the vision and goals of the organization. So again, a very important thing for organizations to focus in on. Many families are in crisis. We're seeing anecdotally and in studies that this is certainly true. Part of it's the fact that families don't have the support as like they used to of extended family and immediate family members because people are more mobile. But life also is getting very busy, and I think that busyness has gotten away on people, and there's less connection time for families, and as a result, it's manifesting itself in terms of stress and additional tensions within the family unit. So the family unit has the potential to be an incredible energizer for your staff and employees as they come into the workplace, but unfortunately in many situations it ends up being an energy depleter as they cope with crisis points in their family, and then they end up walking into your organization trying to be productive but worrying about the issues happening at home. So again, some ideas, training, tools that help families connect in a more effective way is definitely very, very helpful and has direct bottom line impacts that are positive to organizations. The epidemic of fatigue in the workplace is robbing people of creativity, focus, health, and confidence. And again, this one's really tied to all the other ones we talked about. So if people are struggling with their physical health, they're not eating properly, they just have bad personal habits that are eroding their ability to be healthy, that's going to manifest itself directly in creativity and focus. We can't expect people are going to come into organizations and we're going to get this creativity and focus if these other areas aren't being attended to. So if we can equip our folks in organizations to be doing a better job in the areas that tie into energy, creativity, focus, then again we're going to get some more productive results from our teams. And of course, distraction and the inability to focus is a struggle for many. Again, this one's tied to all the others. If, again, you're struggling with your health and energy, you are also trying to cope with this digital age where a lot of people that are in their, let's say, late 40s, early 50s have sort of in this crossover point where there was, sort of digital technology when they first came into the workplace, and now the changes have been massive. And I really think, and as an organization, we think that there needs to be a new protocol around training. How do we equip our staff to deal with a massive volume of digital technology and information? How to organize it? There's even a need for training on social etiquette around how we use digital technology. So this is a very important point, and if we can incrementally help our teams to be more focused, to be able to tap into peak performance states, whether it's being in the zone, experiencing the peak performance state of flow, which really is, by definition, being focused and attentive and really getting lost in important projects and getting things done. That's something that's increasingly more and more difficult for people to do. Well, I've talked about the importance of resiliency training, and we've tried to make the case that our world's going through significant transition and change that's putting pressure on people generally in our societies, our local communities, but it's also putting pressure on our organizations. And it's, I think, creating a real strong urgency for organizations and individuals as well to get fully engaged in the idea of building resiliency to be able to effectively cope with the changes that will be coming our way on an ongoing basis. What I want to talk about now is really the benefits to this kind of training, and I think there's two sides to the equation. One side is at the individual level, the other side is the organizational level. I think that at an individual level, no one can argue with the benefits of trying to be more intentional around your goals, identifying with important missions in your life, improving the relationships around you, your energy, your overall health, and your creative faculties or abilities. And our training is designed to do that. But the other piece for organizations is very compelling as well. And organizations, no matter whether they're non-for-profit or profit, are always going to be concerned about making the best possible use of the resources, and for-profit organizations, their profitability. And so our training is designed to measurably reduce benefit costs, to increase the health and resiliency of your staff, to make sure they're more fully engaged in the workplace in terms of their energy, focus, and productivity, and also their creativity. And of course, helping your employees improve their resiliency during times of change will help your organization to accomplish its key goals and aspirations. Well, it's my hope that you found this presentation helpful. We've attempted to make the case that resiliency training at this particular moment in time is absolutely critical for both individuals and for organizations to achieve their aspirations and objectives. We also think that resiliency training will have direct bottom line impacts on your organizations to improve their effectiveness. If you want more information about our programs and services, please take a look at our website, www.takechargeofchange.com, and there's some more detailed presentations that we put together that review our services in much greater detail. As well, please feel free to send us an email if you have additional questions or would like more content at info@takechargeofchange.com. And of course, you can reach us at area code 204-977-8026.